I haven't purchased a new pair of shoes besides rugby cleats in 10 years. Like, I think junior year of high school was the last time I bought a new pair of shoes.
2014, because there is the World Cup coming. There's something called the World Cup. Have you ever heard of it? It's
Gnarly Hussle, a place you just want to be.
There you go.
This one has a lot of hair. This one has a normal amount of hair. It's Pat and Alex. This one was born in Raytown. This one lives in Raytown. They opened a store in the pandemic, and this is a show about it. Hustle and bustle, hustle and bustle, hustle and bustle. Here is the show.
Hello and welcome to Hustle and Bustle. I'm Pat.
I'm Alex.
It's another lovely week here in Raytona Beach, Missouri, as we are trying desperately to turn it into a spring from winter.
Yes, trying real hard. It's fighting back.
One day it's freezing, one day it's 70, the next day it's cold again.
It's 30 in the morning, 70 by noon.
Layers. I would preach layers this time of year. You got to have a coat. You got to have at least a pullover or a hoodie or a crew neck.
So, changing seasons are great for fashion.
Yeah.
Because you can really layer shit on.
It's true. You can wear 5 outfits in a day.
Yeah.
Sucks for laundry.
Yeah, that's true.
Bad for the laundry season. It is, let's say it is Merch Madness Eve around here, so that's coming up. That's where we're at. It's also, we're getting a toilet installed today, so all sorts of craziness is happening. But maybe the biggest announcement that we've made in a long time is that Alex has a new pair of shoes.
Oh, yeah. So yesterday was, I think yesterday, a couple days ago was my birthday. And I'm not a big birthday guy, but my fiance, we'll cut that out.
Yeah, you gotta. Oof, they get mad about that too.
We have a running tally between us, actually.
Yeah.
But she got me a new pair of shoes.
Those are clean.
So I've had like 6 pairs of Air Force Ones in the last couple of years, but they've all been used or thrifted.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it, and I haven't owned. I haven't purchased a new pair of shoes besides rugby cleats in 10 years. Like, I think junior year of high school was the last time I bought a new pair of shoes.
2014.
Yeah.
Let's see what the biggest hits were in 2014.
A decade ago.
I mean, what is your guess? Can you even think of what music existed?
I'm sure Thank Me Now or Thank Me Later. What was that Drake album? That was big. I remember bumping a lot of Drake. Big Sean. Nicki Minaj.
Happy by Pharrell was
I hated that song.
All About That Bass by Meghan Trainor.
Wow, I forgot about that.
Shake It Off by Taylor Swift. That was
there you go. She's
the Shake It Off era.
Amazing. A decade ago, she was still making pops.
Wiggle by Jason Derulo. Iggy Azalea was there. Habits by Tovlo.
Wow.
Bang Bang by Nicki Minaj.
Yeah, lots of radio. I remember listening to the radio a lot back then. So, yeah. New shoes.
That was the last time you had new shoes.
I don't know when I'll wear them. That's terrified to put them on my feet.
Outrageous. That is outrageous that you have. I mean, I have only. I'm the opposite. Okay, I've got 2 pair of thrifted shoes or secondhand shoes that I now wear pretty regularly. I have never worn another person's shoes until then. And every once in a while, you'll be wearing them and you're doing something and you'll get that foot funk coming up. And you're like, is that mine? And you've been dealing with that for 10 years, unrelentingly, without pause, other than when you're playing rugby, which has a whole other funk.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, man, I don't know. I think even a pair of wrestling shoes were hand-me-downs.
Yo! That's the grossest thing I've ever heard.
That's a low. I'm open here.
That just makes absolutely no sense. Well, congratulations on the new shoes. Guys, come in and buy some fucking clothes so Alex can get his second pair of new shoes in less than 10 years from now. All right, around the water cooler, lots of stuff to chew on today. Ingram says...
Oh, yeah. So I read an article that was discussing,
do they make a printed magazine still? Because I'd like it.
I have no idea.
All right, there's a new level that I want us to pass, like when you're playing Donkey Kong and you get past this checkpoint. In our business that I want us to get to of success, to where we have enough money around here that we can have magazine subscriptions. Like I want Ingram's, I want the 435, all the Kansas City business ones I want.
I think that would be a really easy way to read more. Is
100,000%.
if there was just physical media,
Physical,
scattered
timely
throughout
media. I mean, yeah. Just have Ingrams planted by the toilet. Either one. Both.
So they released the title of the article is "How much do Kansas Cityans need to live comfortably in Kansas City?" And for a single adult, they determined that about $90,000 a year, or $43.40 an hour, is what someone needs to live comfortably.
That's
And
$43.40 an hour.
that's
always blows my mind.
when you break it down by hour.
The salary to hourly.
Do you do that a lot?
No, never. Only recently have I done that, and it's weird.
I do it. It's a good tool. Like when you're
it's a great
doing a
tool.
useless task and you ask yourself, is this worth someone, put a value on your head. Let's say you think you're worth $100,000 a year. That's $50 an hour. You're like, is it worth me to do this for $50 for an hour? I don't know. It's a good way to determine if you're wasting your time or not. But yeah, they broke it down where I think over half of that was spent on living expenses, and then they have I think 25% for vacations and entertainment. So by comfortably they mean being able to go out on weekends, take a vacation, not stress about your mortgage,
like the Friends did in the 90s.
Yeah, exactly. I saw
To live like
something-
Ross.
When Friends started, they're supposed to be 24,
Yeah.
which blows my mind.
Yeah, that's always the joke, is that Friends, there's no way they could live in that size apartment in New York or that.
But they all had roommates and shit. Now the apartment is huge.
but Joey's an actor, and
that's true.
Monica's a chef or a cook or whatever. And Phoebe's a massage therapist. She's obviously got to be given hands.
She lives alone.
Yeah. So, yeah. But anyways, yes.
I'm way below that $90,000.
Oh my God! Divide it by a number that I'm embarrassed by, and that's where we land.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
$90,000 a year, baby. I'd be balling.
Right.
I could turn that into so much more so quickly, though. I would spend it instantly.
That would be. I mean, you would, but your life would be better. And because it would be just more stress free.
Yeah. It was interesting. Do you think there's?
I would have health insurance.
Yeah.
I would probably have a lot more pressure on my head to have a baby.
Those type of comfortable things.
Yeah.
So that's a goal. 90,000. That's what we got to get to.
Exactly. Well, that's crazy. I mean, does that seem? First off, did you feel a way about the way that number that is? I mean, I don't argue with it, but that seems like when you live with as little as I or you have lived, it seems bananas to think that that's the average comfortability.
Yeah, I would say it's on the higher end than I would have expected. Because what do they say? Poverty. I was way closer to the poverty line than I am that 90,000.
Yeah.
There's a big gap in there where I think there's lots of room to be happy. I don't know. 90,000 seems pretty high, but yeah, I got defensive for a second, but then I start to think about all the things that I do without, and I bet I could get to 90,000 pretty quickly without feeling I'm gluttonous or greedy.
And also imagine if you had time, if you made enough money. I mean, I don't know, just to pretend you had time, you know what I mean? You don't have a lot of free time or take a lot of free time.
Yeah.
Let's imagine that you did, and then you had the money, you'd spend it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Anyways, Mattel, also big news in Kansas City. Mattel theme park coming.
I think this is in Blue Springs.
Bonner Springs.
One of the springs.
Which is basically wind up. What am I saying? What are they called? Legends. Basically, it's
Oh
Legends.
shit, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
It could be where Renfest is. It could be. I mean, it's Wyandotte County Park.
There's
area.
tons of space out there.
Yeah,
They could throw wherever
tons
the
of
fuck they want.
space.
They could level Schlitterbahn and put it there.
Well, that's where they wanted the Chiefs. They were trying to pull the Chiefs over there at one point.
Oh, no shit.
So I don't know where they're going exactly over there, but it's a freaking Mattel themed theme park. Now, what is under the Mattel banner? Obviously, Barbie.
Yeah, there's a little bit more than I had originally thought. All I can think of was Thomas. Our family was a big
The train?
Thomas family.
Oh
Yep.
man, yeah, that'll be huge.
Which makes me okay. It's we got Mattel Toys games characters, including Hot Wheels, Thomas and Friends, Uno. There'll be a larger-than-life Barbie beach house with like a rooftop bar and restaurant.
Oh my god, that'll freaking crush.
Weird shit like Magic 8 Ball. So I bet they'll get pretty creative with kind of because they don't have the weapons like Disney has to have internationally famous characters, but they've got a handful of like some heavy hitters. So there's supposed to be a little mini golf game, a roller coaster. I don't know. We'll see. It definitely will be heavily kid-centric, I think.
Why Kansas City?
I don't know. I
love it.
There's still a lot of growth potential for Kansas City. I also read that...
that area out there is pretty cool. There's a lot of cool stuff out there.
And there's a lot of...
I don't ever go. I've gone through the years for rugby stuff, but... I don't ever go there for pleasure. Like, I don't go to sporting games. It doesn't even cross my mind. It's so far away.
That's true. I haven't been over there. The only reason I would make it
like Comets cross my mind because I pass past the arena.
Yeah. I don't know. I also read that Google is building like a $1.2 billion data center in the Kansas City metro area. So like, Kansas
is that something
City's...
people will work at, or is that just like a room full of servers?
No idea. Some people will work at it. I don't know.
I think, did you say who was saying that? Google, or who did you say? Meta?
Google.
I think Meta has something.
Meta's got some like pretty decently large like HQ buildings in the KC area. But yeah, I don't know. Kansas City's probably going to grow a lot in the next decade or so. If I were to throw a guess about things,
it's definitely going to grow June and July of 2026 because there is the World Cup coming.
Yeah.
There's something called the World Cup. Have you ever heard of it? It's the cup for the world. Soccer's coming. Gonna be huge.
Yeah.
So we joined the Raytown Main Street. How long has it been, do you think?
I don't know. A couple of years.
We joined Raytown Main Street. And we sit in that committee, and we sit in there with like the mayor and the assistant city manager.
Real bigwigs.
Yeah, all the Raytown bigwigs. And we got invited to other committees, and then we somehow landed on the, I don't know what the hell you call it, but it's a committee basically of Raytown dignitaries and surrounding dignitaries and business people, how to engage the World Cup, prepare for the World Cup, take advantage of the World Cup as the city of Raytown.
Yeah.
We had a meeting the other day, and so we haven't really talked about it much. It's coming up. It's 2 years away. So I figured I'd just tell you some nuggets that I have from the committee.
But dude, this is more every day that passes. I get more and more interested about. 2 years is a second in World Cup time.
In business time and World Cup time, it's like it's going to be here.
Like it's getting to the crunch time. Yeah.
So Arrowhead, all games are going to be at Arrowhead, and they are June 16th, 2026, June 20th, 2026, June 25th, 2026, June 27th, 2026, July 3rd, 2026, and then July 11th, 2026 will be the quarterfinals.
6 games.
So we have 6 games here. That
Just
are all part
Arrowhead?
That's all at Arrowhead, only at Arrowhead.
Okay.
It's the only place big enough to run a World Cup game in Kansas City. On top of that, there will be at least 2 teams, I believe, that are camped out here in Kansas City throughout the duration. So how it works is teams will have like a home base, and then they'll travel out from that home base to their games.
Okay.
So Kansas City allegedly rumored to be one of the like higher end, or like expected to be one of the more popular ones. Teams all put in for like kind of what they want.
Because we're in the middle. That would make sense.
Yes, we're centrally located. I guess it's a direct flight to all but one of the stadium cities. Yeah. So anyways, we'll find out what teams are playing here, I guess December of 2025. So we have to wait a while for that. But we could find out by the end of this year what teams are based here, camped here. Woo. So as the way it works, I guess, like let's say Argentina's here. A butt ton of Argentinians are going to come here for the entire duration of the World Cup, and they'll travel just like the team will.
Oh, shit. That makes sense.
So we'll have a butt ton of Argentinians all over the city. And the 2 training bases are going to be the Kansas City Current facility, which I think is, I don't know if it's their stadium downtown or if it's their training facility in Riverside, but one of those 2 facilities. And then there's, I think it's called Pinnacle, but it's out at the Legends, and it's like this giant U.S. soccer training facility. So that's kind of like some of the nuggets. Also, an interesting nugget is that the FIFA won't allow other sporting events to happen in the city while the World Cup is happening, so the Royals cannot play at Kauffman during that entire time.
So the mob is essentially moving into Kansas City for a month.
100%.
Because FIFA is got to be
So
one
the
of
Royals are trying to figure out, like, what are we going to do? Did the Royals just not have a home game for 6 weeks?
Wow.
Yeah. So, like, I don't know what if it's the whole World Cup or if it's just the time that there's games here.
games.
But they're looking at, like, did the Royals play in Omaha
The
or
whole
something?
World Cup would be insane. They say we have 6 games over 6 weeks, and you just you can't play at all.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, I know. So it's bananas. So that's all happening. And then there's a couple and the Club World Cup is allegedly coming here next year.
I had no idea this was a thing.
I didn't know it was a thing either. I don't really know what it is. I assume it's the best clubs in the world. According to my brother, that could be like a huge driver. But it's like not that far away that we could be selling alcohol,
To a bunch of soccer fans.
to a bunch of crazy soccer fans.
Yeah.
Roaming
I
around.
need to know what country they're all from and, like, stock up.
Apparently, this is according to the mayor, that like Raytown is a smoking city, but apparently like a lot of these cultures still smoke pretty heavily.
Oh, yeah.
So when they come here, we could be a real destination. And like, I think, like I joke in these meetings, but like, if you're from frickin' Uruguay or Kenya or Ireland or wherever in the world or Korea, and you're coming here for the World Cup, and you're Googling, all right, here's the stadium where all the games are going to be.
Yeah.
Where's the closest cluster of bars? It's downtown Raytown by a mile.
Yeah.
By
yeah.
miles and miles and miles, by a long time, by lots of miles. So like, to me, it just feels like an opportunity to tell a story and paint a picture as downtown Raytown is like an entertainment district.
Yeah, it'd be
which is
cool.
something that we should be doing anyways.
Yes.
So like, that's why for me, it's worth sitting in these committees is to build any kind of inertia and momentum towards that.
Yeah, like we should be having Raytown Live. Like, that would be attended by strangers. I don't know.
If it would be during the June and July Raytown Lives, you bet your ass would be better at
Yeah.
that. Especially if you played to it, right? If you had Argentinian music, if we had the Argentina team or whatever, you know what I mean?
And like the city, maybe you get food trucks out there, and the city charges, $100 or something for like. There's ways for the city to make money. There's ways for lots of businesses to make money. So hopefully the goal of this committee is to like lay down the avenues at which action can be taken for everyone to benefit from.
Sure. Now that we're obviously business owners in the community. That's our entire stake. So that's what we want. But with more people, with all that comes liability.
Yeah,
like
100%.
Public
Security,
safety, all sorts of stuff. And so that comes with a cost. And yes, there will be added tax revenues. But like, you just have to make sure that, so there's like, that's the other side of things. And I, if the city wants to reap the rewards, it's going to have to also invest in some of this stuff. And I think part of that is going to be, making it to where businesses can come and just be here for 2 months. We have a shit ton of open retail space.
Mm-hmm.
And if they have to jump through the same hoops that somebody who wants to live there long term has to jump through, then it might turn them off from jumping through there. And I think there's an opportunity to bring some of that World Cup traffic here by having soccer retailers or tournament or themed retailers in and around the space. You know what I mean? So whatever it is, yes, it's going to take a lot of public-private cooperation, and that's why it's cool to be in the committee.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully we can do that. And we need. I think downtown Raytown could be a pretty cool fucking. Like, I don't see any reason why it couldn't be like the Strawberry Hill of Eastern Jackson County.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a great parallel connection.
Jake Paul and Mike Tyson are fighting.
Yeah.
How old? What's the age difference? Is this
30 years?
What's Mike Tyson?
I think he's like 55, 57.
Okay, he's in his 50s.
And I don't think Jake Paul is 30 yet. So I think it's about like 30 years.
All right. Seems a little reckless.
I'm ashamed, but this is
so 50s and 20s.
This is the only match, or the first match that I'm like, I think genuinely not excited about, but I think it's interesting. I'll watch it. It helps that it's free on Netflix in July, but
it's gonna really Rocky. There was a couple of Rockies where Sylvester Stallone got real old, and it was just so unbelievable. Because I'm like, how fucking old can you be and get in a boxing ring? This will tell us.
Yeah, exactly. A real
This will
life
give us a
experience.
good real life litmus test of how ridiculous those movies were.
Because like I keep thinking about how old he is, but then I'll remember that he was an animal. Like, he was the top of the food chain of human beings on Earth. And like, if there's anybody to overcome like a 30-year age gap, it's the one of one. You know,
this is a bipolar event because like nothing would make me happier than Mike Tyson going in there
and that's the
knocking him the fuck out. But nothing is gonna make me sadder if like Jake Paul goes in there and just makes an old man crumple. You know what I mean?
That's true, but that's why I think both of those
There's no tie.
are so equally.
The only tie is if Mike Tyson bites his ear in like the first tie up and he gets disqualified. Then I'm like, okay.
He's crazy. Like, I think if he starts to lose, it could still be entertaining in a way. It'd be sad, but yeah, I don't know. I'm excited for it. It's crazy. I don't like supporting Jake Paul.
Well. Who is licensing this? There's like government regulation over this shit. What state is this happening in?
Texas, Arlington, Texas, I think. It's some city in Texas. They're actually getting it. There's some dude. I don't know how any of this fucking works, but they're petitioning to get it like as a certified heavyweight match. But as of right now, I think it will be like exposition. Am I saying that right?
Exhibition.
It didn't sound right when it came out. Exhibition match. And he fought like what? Roy Wood, like 10 years ago? I don't know.
No clue.
It's supposed to be.
Mike Tyson did?
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
It's supposed to be more.
How bad was he then?
I don't know. I don't think he was.
Guess he'll be worse now.
Yeah. I don't remember.
Old man strength plus. I'm feeling your rib cage is probably a lot more fragile. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. But he's Mike fucking Tyson.
He is Mike Tyson. If he does
like,
the little bow down, if he does it once.
Yeah, that's why I feel like he only has to land a couple. Like I feel like the strength is still there.
That's always been the thing. I literally don't think there's a human being on earth who, if Mike Tyson, he was always my MMA because I used to think boxers would always kill MMA fighters. Mm-hmm. I think that it's melded now, and a lot of the best athletes are going to MMA and not boxing.
Yeah.
But Mike Tyson, I just don't think there's an MMA fighter who could have gotten into a ring with Mike Tyson and lived.
You could train him just enough defense of some of the wrestling stuff to make him just like not lose on the ground, and as long as he's on his feet, it's terrifying.
If you put Mike Tyson and Bruce Lee in an octagon, Bruce Lee would have left in a body bag.
Yeah. Oh fuck.
Anyways, how is it going? Let's talk about the bar first because exciting things are happening back there.
Yeah.
There is going to be a toilet. There's going to be a bathroom today.
By the time you hear this, I'll have shit in the toilet.
That's not. Oh, that's probably true. That's true. I bet that's true.
That's true.
Yeah, he's going to do that.
Whether it's working or not.
Yeah. So the bathroom is literally going in as we speak, or the toilet, I mean, and the last few things are going to be done. And huge shout out to our landlord, who has helped us out tremendously. And I got to just say that there were times, because this has been a 2-year process, and a lot of it's been negotiating, and we just don't have money. Everything costs money. When you have to hire an architect, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to figure things out. There's just so much at stake, and it costs a lot of money. And so when you have to negotiate things to be done for free or to be done on other people's time, it takes a long time. Mm-hmm. And so there were times where our patience was tried, and but
it's working out.
Yeah, it's working out. And I just think like good people, I don't know, like it's tough to be in a small business.
Yeah.
It's tough to be an entrepreneur, but like so far we have met some good people, I think.
Yes.
And who have been like, for whatever reason, done us a good favor.
Yeah, I'd say Sal is definitely a great example of that. I'm sure there's a lot of people who can have lots of stories about like bad landlords, but like he's kind of let us do whatever we want, and he's offered help like when he thinks it makes sense for him. Like he's still a businessman.
Right.
He wants an ROI in the building. He recognizes that for him to make money, we got to be in it.
Yeah.
So like he's self-interested in that way, but yeah, like he did about a month and a half's work that we would have had to do in about a week and a half for far cheaper, which was a huge help for us.
And we were also banging our head against the architect wall for a year before we finally got through, and it was a friend who helped us out, and Steve Gunther,
mm-hmm.
Somebody from one of these committees, and who I've known since I was a kid because he was my scoutmaster. So it's just taken people. It's taking people helping us.
Yeah. If there's advice I can give, because we still don't know what we're doing, other than I've learned this, just tell people how ignorant you are. And more often than not, they're willing to help.
We even had that conversation with Sal, and he totally agreed.
Yeah, he totally agreed.
Yeah.
Like it's hard when you when you think you know what you're doing, or like your ego's attached to it, but to genuinely like call somebody up and say, "Hey, we're a new business owner, and we'd like to do this, but we don't know where to start, and we don't even know how to finish like that project. Can you help us?" And everyone, if they're a good person, they'll stop what they're doing and help you, because people love. I think egotistically, they love to help others. Like, it makes them feel good. So, yeah. Admit how dumb you are, and life's a lot easier.
That's for sure. Like, I wouldn't have graduated college if it weren't for, like, the science teacher who just didn't want to have me back in class because I asked so many questions and tried so hard but could not get it. And he just gave me the C that I needed in order to be able to graduate. Because if I would have got a D, I would have had to retake the class because of whatever requirement.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be an Eagle Scout if it weren't for Kathy Majors, the scout master, or my scout leader, who made me basically do it and filed the paperwork for me. So I don't know. It just takes a lot of people to do anything, and it also takes doing something a long time and trying hard to get people to be willing to help you out.
Yeah.
Probably just grateful, I think, on the back end of this to have some people who've helped.
You came into this world completely helpless, and you rely on mommy and daddy for the first 10 years maybe.
Yeah.
And then we think that just ends. You're still heavily dependent on everyone around you. Can't do it alone. You're a helpless baby. Ask for help.
Speaking of can't doing it alone, I think that we have a phenomenal thrift store now, and our women's selection is outrageously better than it used to be. We get that feedback pretty consistently now, and that's largely because we have other people who are shopping, and that's because of the large consignment expansion we made in the front room. We are out of spaces currently. We're going to add room to bring on 2 more people. We're hoping to fill those probably through this weekend in Merch Madness, but it's going pretty well in there. What do you think? Just check in on the consignment, because now we moved in Knoll Vintage, and we moved in oh man, we're getting so many people. Catalyst Vintage.
Catalyst, yep.
So all of our current racks that are available for consignment are full.
Yeah, that's strange. That happened, I think,
this week.
I think we did a good job.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I think we've invited some people who do a good job of sourcing and curating, and they're all really great people. They're great to talk with, and they'll help you shop. Everyone's restocked to their items without being asked. It's been great. I don't have a single complaint about anybody who has stepped into our store and started consigning. And I say that with confidence, but you should enjoy them too. I think we have a great selection of great people at Gnarly Hussle, and if you come in 2 or 3 times a month, you're going to find something new that's one of a kind, that's a banger and a hanger.
And if you haven't been in a while, I would really encourage you, but you still follow us, I would really encourage you to come back and check out, probably if you haven't been in the last 3 months, really come back. If you haven't been in this year, come back in and give it a check and have a look, because the store is definitely refreshed from a quality standpoint in the inventory, and changed a little bit, right? So that front room is now consignment. It's a higher margin. I don't know what the average dollar amount was per item, and let's say it was $8 to $12. Now it's probably $20 to $40 is the average price.
Yeah.
And he goes obviously for an average, and there's some higher and some lower than that. But it's much greater curation of stuff. You can come here no matter what size you are, no matter what you're looking for, and have a really, really good shot at finding a really cool, unique piece of vintage or thrifted secondhand clothing that you're still paying a good price for. So that's really cool and exciting. It's exciting to have that and be on the hopefully tipping point towards getting a bar going.
Yeah.
So now the ball's back in our court to do a bunch of work and get a health inspection and a liquor license, and then we can really pop a bottle and have some fun.
Yeah. No, then that's when the fun hasn't started yet.
Right.
That's when it all starts to be fun.
Yeah. That's our hope is to have one of the best thrift and retail vintage stores around, and just in terms of that standing alone. And then we hope to have a really cool drinking space and event space that we're not using as an event space to rent it out, but running our own events in, and a dope hangout space in the back, and we can combine those to be really unique and have a lot of fun.
Gnarly Hussle, a place you just want to be.
There you go. All right, well, we got to go move a bunch of shit around because we have a event in like 72 hours, and holy shit,
It's dirty.
it's dirty. So we'll see you soon.
Peace.